Good.
Dragging the bottom for oh so long.
Oh.
But I can feel that power running strong. It's in the air, I can feel it now. The dragon's walls are crumbling down, and it's time to fly. As I say goodbye to the problems.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. This is Matthew from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Olivia Spear is also in the house.
Hola.
The humidifier is making the camera foggy.
Oh.
Yeah, we got a new wide angle lens for the new show, and it's going to focus on the umbrella, so it's not going to look fantastic right now. I just wanted to see what it looked like. It is a gorgeous lens, and that will be one of the new lenses we're going to be using inside the new room, which will give us a better look at Olivia and I when we're both talking at the same time, and kind of when we're doing the reporting. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. I don't have a syllabus tonight. A lot of the things that we were going to talk about have already been put up on the header. I didn't have a chance to do it tonight. Literally, the show's going to suffer for the next couple of weeks until we get this thing built. I was up at 5, started working at 7, and then we got to do this show as well. So
and then I go to work and I come home and go to work on the room.
So woe is us. We'll see you guys in about 3 minutes. Can't wait to get started tonight. Just Olivia and I tonight. Amy is off. See her soon.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me Show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
You know, something we haven't done before is provided my personal Facebook page.
Oh.
And someone tagged me in something in the Dumb Show Facebook page, and someone's like, that's not Matt Spears' page. It can't be Matt Spears' page. The Dumb Show has 250,000 followers, and there's no way Matt would only have 512. Well, it's because I never visit that page, like ever. But I'm willing to do it now. I just renamed it. It is now called facebook.com Dumb Show Matt. There it is. It used to be Matthew.spear.96. Now it's just Dumb Show Matt. So there it is. You guys can find me on facebook.com/Dumb Show Matt if you want to follow. And I'll follow you. It's my personal page. You can go there and see a bunch of pictures and fat pictures and pictures of Olivia when she was pregnant. I'm sure there's some feet pics on there for some
kids.
Yeah, kids.
Lots of kids.
Yeah, so if you want to go and follow, you can do that. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I mean, definitely not feeling great. Throat is still blood. I'm tired, but whatever. Life has a way of throwing you curveballs, and you suck it up and deal with it. So anyway, you guys can go follow us there. Also, you can go to thedumbshow.com, pick up some shirts, some hats, stuff like that. There's great stuff there. We have great tank tops, great shirts, coffee, everything. Adeline, hello. Good to see you. And you should go over to thedumbshow.com, and you can save 10% by using code DUMB10. It's one of the highest rated stores on the internet. You can go look. I think we're at like 4.96 rating out of 5 stars, and we have 270 some odd reviews, which is ridiculous for a show our size. So if you haven't had a chance, go and do that. It's a great way to support the show and then also get some cool swag. And third, thedumbshow.com/donate. Facebook has officially canceled us. We have made, I'm excited to announce $13. It was 11 last night. We're at 13 for the month. This
Awesome.
will officially be the lowest month we've ever had on Facebook, even since the beginning. And the reason why is I got an advertising refund, even when we weren't monetized, for like $13. So no, $17. So that was our most profitable month, the least profitable month. Now this will be. And the reason why is right before the big show that we did with Laura Logan and Tonto, and Roseanne was supposed to be here, but she got sick. They shut down our monetization. So now we are stuck with trying to figure out what we were anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 just on Facebook, which should be 10 times that amount, but it's not. And here we are. So we do donations. We've been doing that for over a year now, and we have not increased it. We've tried to keep it, around 150, 200, and then we went to 300. And that seems to be our sweet spot. But to be honest with you, we've got to supplement income. So we're building a brand new set. We're getting a bigger show. It's enough to get by. Now we've got to figure out how do we expand. So what we're trying to do is have people help us get there. And if you can donate to the show, you can go to thedumbshow.com/donate, use PayPal, Venmo if you like the show, and say, here you go. And listen, if you don't want to or can't, that's simple. All you got to do is just don't, because it's free. We just, unlike some shows, they want to sell stuff and give you endorsements and have you go and click and subscribe to a Substack. What we do is say it's funded by you. And if you want to fund the show, you can. So that's how we do it. Is there a format you are on that is monetized? Yeah. Rumble is monetized. YouTube doesn't care at all. And it's really Rumble. That's it. So Wimkin is a great choice for you guys to go to. So is Facebook. I mean, Facebook's our bread and butter. It used to be. And from a, bringing on new people, it's a great thing. It's just they don't even tell us why we're demonetized. They just took it away. I've sent in an appeal. It was the 16th. And so now we're 12 days, and they said it was going to take 5 days. And we don't know why we're demonetized. And we follow the rules. We do what we're supposed to do. And you guys can see 250,000 people. We got 83 people on. Trust me, the show is successful on Rumble. It does well for the amount of viewers we have. It does well for YouTube with the amount of viewers we have. It does great on X for the amount of viewers we have. And on Facebook, it just does complete shit. And the reason why is they just don't like conservative shows.
Yep.
We need help. So if you can help us out, please do.
Yes, please. In June, I'm switching families, so I'm actually going to be out 2 weeks before I start new families. So
yeah, it's gonna be a tough couple months, but that's okay. It's not your responsibility, but if you love the show and you like what the show does, then maybe this is the time to say, hey, you know what? Let's rock and roll. Last thing is we're doing a complete renovation. We're going to be expanding our studio so we can bring in guests, and we just kind of started the process over the last few days. And when I say it's going to be massive, it is absolutely massive.
Oh, I've taken a bunch of pics. I probably should have sent them to you.
Yeah, a lot of work has been done, and this is pretty much what my mornings are now. But we've got one portion of it completely done, which is the curtains, and this is going to be the kind of the waiting area. When people walk in from that left side, there'll be a bench there. They can sit there and kind of watch the show unfold. Of course, we need to paint, but that one section with the curtains, that's done.
All the brown is me. I did all the brown painting.
Did all the brown, and well, not all of it.
Well, I haven't finished. I haven't had a chance to finish.
No. I mean, there's some parts in there you didn't
Yeah.
do. You didn't do the shelves, and you didn't do, but that's okay. It's really close. It doesn't matter. It looks great. So that is done, and this isn't going to be just a room painting, folks. We're talking everything from lighting to electronics to wall switches to fans to new cameras to.
But this is just 1 week. This is what we've done in 1 week.
It's not even 1 week. It's been less than that. So it's actually much faster than a week. We just got the barn doors put up, and had to get creative because I ran out of my table saw or my what are they called? Horse saws?
The
Sawhorses.
sawhorse.
So I have sawhorse, and I'm like, okay, well, my chair will work, and that is the door that I had to build, and you have to hold the frame together, and it worked out wonderfully. That chair was amazing, and we got it hung by myself,
Yeah, he did the doors all by
built
himself.
by himself, railing by myself, lifting by myself, all of it. And there is the other door this morning. Here is first coat of paint on the aforementioned door. It's pulling up. And you're like, oh my God, that looks terrible. What a horrible job, Matt. Well, it's first coat. And this is the final result. Shazbuk Nenu. Thank you. And this is what it looks like. And it looks good. And that really is kind of the motif for the whole room. It's going to be very rustic, very dark. The backdrop, the reclaimed wood came in today. We've got the beams in. We've got the rock in. All the lighting. Everything looks great. So we're very excited. We hope you are too. And listen, I told you I was going to keep you informed because it's your money. And a lot of people are saying, hey, well, why don't you just use some of that money? Because that money's been spent on the rebuild. So we've got about 175 boxes in the garage.
We should take a picture of the boxes.
Yeah. And it's, the TVs are in there, and the beams and the reclaimed wood, and then the mics and the 150 feet of cables. And I mean, it's loaded. So we're really excited, and we know you're going to love it. And I am shooting to be done by June 10th. That's my target date. I don't know if we will launch on June 10th, but we have to switch this room. So we'll gut this room. And honestly, pretty much nothing in this room is going over there. Most of it is gonna stay in here and be rearranged. So you need a couple bales of hay. It does have that feeling. It looks like a medieval. It's designed to look like a colonial. Mm-hmm. That's my goal, is to have it, because in the back wall, I want to basically.
We need to go antiquing.
Well, I'm going to have on the back wall weapons of war from the American Revolution, the Civil War, and then move into Vietnam and Korea, Vietnam, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, move into Afghanistan, and then modern day. So I'm going to kind of like American history on the back wall. So it's going to be great. I mean, I'm painstakingly anal retentive about this stuff. It has to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, Olivia will tell you, I don't move forward until it's perfect. And that's just the way I am. So it's pretty cool. We're pretty excited. Yeah, I know. I heard.
Did you see Debbie's?
Yeah, I always see Debbie's. All right, so let's get into it. We got a good show tonight. We got a lot to talk about, and we'd appreciate if you would share, like, and subscribe. We got to get these numbers up. Let's do that. You're clicking.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah, put it down. Put it down. Where's your silent toy thing you use?
This thing?
Yeah, grab that. This clicking thing you do. It's loud.
I have to grab a new one because it's loose apparently.
It's loud. Like our mics are good, so when you do that, it's loud. Like, did I mention how loud it is? So, it is. Why is Twitter? Can I just tell you, I'm tired. It's been a long. We need a good donation night. I need some stress off my back. And what?
We're running off the same Twitter for some reason.
What?
Like
just stay out of it.
Okay.
Just get off Twitter.
Just getting off.
Why
Twitter.
are you on Twitter?
I'm always on Twitter just in case people are on there. But we've never shared screens before.
I don't know. Whatever you're doing, close down. You're screwing up. You're screwing up my gate.
I just closed.
I can't
Twitter.
even get in. So whatever you did, stop. What did you do?
I closed it and got out of it.
I'm waiting for it to reload. I can't get in. I can't do the show.
That is so weird. That's never happened before.
Yeah. Hayden! Can you get Hayden?
Yeah, she's coming.
Hey, Hayden, can you go get me my Wimkin hat or my Still Point hat up in the room, please? I need a hat tonight. Thanks. Okay, there it is. I don't know what happened. That weird.
Is the weirdest thing. That's never happened. All of a sudden, you took control of my screen and started touching my windows started moving.
Someone says I have a lot of Korean memorabilia. Well, I've got Korea right here. So Korea's taking care
and the
of.
flag.
Yeah. So
that flag is my grandpa's.
Yeah, we got World War II, Korea. I mean, so we already have a lot of stuff. Like I've got stuff from the Civil War too. So it's like we'll get to it. So Judge Jeanine has been sworn in as interim U.S. attorney for D.C., which is going to be an incredible thing. Here's the video. Thank you. Appreciate you. Here's the video. Is the video of Judge Jeanine being sworn in, but it immediately brings to mind that there were some other people who were nominated for their positions, and are we getting the most out of these people that we anticipated? So let's watch Judge Jeanine getting her swear-in done by Pam Bondi, and Donald Trump is over on Overwatch on this, and here it is. Yes, there's sound. Patience. King James Bible.
I, Jeanine Pirro, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I take this obligation freely,
and that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of
the office upon which I am about to enter.
Upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love Judge Jeanine. She's an amazing lady.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we have a new viewer.
Steve Hoover?
It's not that it happens so rarely that we call it out, but when somebody brings attention to themselves, Steve Hoover says, Steve Hoover has arrived. His cousin, Janet Gale, wanted me to check you guys out. Well, here we are.
Hello, Steve Hoover. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. So Judge Jeanine, who has endorsed the Don't Unfriend Me show back in the day when we had, I don't know, like 130,000 followers, and what a nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
Is this more of the same? Are we going to see a hard charger, someone who speaks out against the deep state, someone who speaks out against the corruption of liberals?
I would hope. I mean, she's never been afraid to.
Yeah, either was Cash Patel or Dan
That's
Bongino,
true.
but look
So
at
I
them.
don't know.
Look at Pam Bondi. I mean, look at Pam, Cash, and Dan. And anyone who says they're not disappointed is just not paying attention. We always hear, keep giving them time, give them time. I'm done with time. You've had the Epstein trial since 2017. You can start cracking skulls. Let's start getting some indictments. Let's start getting the preponderance of evidence out there for people to see. I'm tired of waiting. I'm just tired of waiting. And holy CJ, thank you. Olivia will see it before I get to see it first because it's just the way it is. Pam Bondi. I like Pam, and I like Dan, and I like Cash, but it's time to start putting the cuffs on people, or it's time to start passing down some indictments, because we've said this before. If your constant premise on your show and everything you do from your interviews are the deep state, and then you get there and it's so difficult. Thank you, CJ, for an amazing donation.
Appreciate it.
That's the type of donations we need tonight. We just need a good night to make up for some lost time. May was awesome, but you got to remember, 7 nights we missed. I've missed y'all. Room looks awesome. Great job. Just wait, CJ. It's going to be awesome. 7 nights we missed last month because of we donated money to other causes, or we had the $20,000 show. And I know that's like, well, Matt, you made $20,000 on the show. It's not going to us. In fact, Olivia and I have already put money out of our pocket for the new room. So these donations help. And we overextended a little bit, and people tighten their belt a little bit for the big show, but now we just need some help. So appreciate it. So I'm positive that Judge Jeanine is going to, because she's law abiding and a former judge and prosecutor, and she understands what needs to take place. My hopes is that when she gets there, that there is enough evidence to move forward. But if we find 6 months from now that Judge Jeanine is not going after people, not going after these cases, then there's just nothing to see. It's either that A, they have hidden it so well, or B, there's nothing there, or C, they're now a part of the deep state. So which one it is, I think time will tell, but it's hard for me to believe that Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, and Judge Jeanine Pirro are going to be bought. My hope is that they're not. What do you think?
I hope they're not. It makes you wonder if a lot of the things that we thought were true are not.
Thank you, Paul. Paul says first timer from the UK. We're going to talk about the UK tonight. Stick around. I've got a soft spot in my heart for the Brits. I make fun of you guys a lot, but I'm not going to make fun of you, Paul. So stick around.
I would hope, but yes, Epstein files, all that. I understand. I want to start going after the little things. I want to start seeing where the Obamas got their money, where Nancy Pelosi got her money.
Well, we know the stock market.
Where's all this stock trading? What I want to know. I want them to go after the lobbyists. I want them to go after the political action committees. I want them to go after that. That's what I want to go after, because that's what's going to make the biggest difference. Okay, the Epstein, it's already happened, and it really, really sucks. And for those girls, but a lot of them are getting justice privately.
How do you want to go after the PACs? Let's talk about that. How do you want to go after the PACs? I mean, political contributions are legal, and special interest groups are legal. But in order to get rid of the political action committees and the super PACs, you would have to get rid of Citizens United.
And that's the one
that's
thing.
So you're a Republican, believes that repealing Citizens United is absolutely crucial.
Yes, good. It absolutely is.
Well, you and I both agree. I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's a great point. Citizen United essentially is a case that allows corporations to have free speech. And
corporations shouldn't have free speech because it's a corporation.
Right.
It's not a person. And those corporations are run by boards, many people. And great if it's us, because it's basically one person. We're not run by a board. But
right.
Most big companies like that can afford to donate millions of dollars are run by boards and are huge, like Facebook. Why should Facebook get free speech as a company, not people who are on Facebook, but as a company?
Well, not just extend that. It's not just speech, the ability to go ahead and qualify protection under the First Amendment, but money is speech. So corporations can go ahead and invest millions upon millions into these political action committees and spread the money into states they don't even live in. This is a perfect example of Mark Zuckerberg in 2020 election spent over, what, $500 million of investing money into campaigns that, in the end, it worked.
And do you think that would stop them shutting down conservative voices like us and trying to do everything in their power to break us?
Well, I mean, Facebook is trying to break us, but we have Wimkin, we have Rumble, we have Twitter. Like, I thought if we lost Facebook, like I honestly thought about stopping the Don't Unfriend Me page and start pushing my personal profile and have, try to get as many people to go over there because they have a harder time censoring personal. I could get my blue check mark and everything else. But, my thoughts are to give up 250,000 followers is pretty stupid of me. But if it's not making, you any money, smiling, love you all, love you, Bobby. Thank you, guys.
Bobby.
Guys, we're halfway to go already. This is what we need. We didn't just one of those nights, it's been, $300 nights, and those are great. We love them, but it's been a while since we had that big $500, $600, $700, $800 night just that can help us out. That's what we're looking for. We don't ask. I don't think I've ever asked for a big night. We just need a big night. Just need that swan song event. But my thoughts is that speech should not be money, because this allows special interest groups to come in. Why should Starbucks get double indemnity? They have the ability for their individual employees to go ahead and have a voice. The CEOs, the board has a voice, but then to collectively say Starbucks has a voice, it's just not.
Yeah,
it's not what our country was designed to do, and it wasn't individual rights and individual voices that needed to remain to be heard. Because the whole thing is, it's never about the majority in a republic. It's the minority voices must be heard, always. And it just doesn't mean by color, race, sexual disposition, or financial or geopolitical awareness or education. It comes down to a minority voice will be in a minority opinion. So, for instance, abortion, although completely unacceptable to a lot of people on the right, including myself, believe that there are exceptions. And with those exceptions, 71% of the United States agrees with those exceptions. But they don't want late-term abortions. But it's still a minority opinion for the person who says abortion shouldn't be legal in any case. And those people deserve to be heard. On the other side of that, do the people who say 9 months abortions and above, which is extremely unpopular, need to be heard? Yes. All voices need to be heard. All voices need to be heard. All minority opinions. So we know who they are and know how crazy they are. You know what I mean? Some comments from the Peanut Gallery. Monty Williams, I haven't seen. Bondi, Bongino, and Patel are disappointments. Hard for me to believe that people have been sitting on their hands for the last 4 years, not investigating anything and getting enough evidence so that when conservatives get the power, we can't go after them. Yeah, Monty, I'm with you. And I know that Bongino and the guys are saying, oh, well, we've got some investigations that are opening up. Great. I'm sick of hearing it. Let's go. How about this? Just pick the low-hanging fruit. Forget the big rocks. Forget the corporations. Forget the multi-state level indictments. Forget the federal, even national, or international indictments. Just do the big hanging rocks, the ones that are so blatant, that are so obvious. That would be nice. But I just haven't seen enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. James, I hope you're well too. James, we checked the mailbox, didn't see anything. We did get Deirdre's check though. So Deirdre, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. So excited for Judge Jeanine. I have a lot of faith. Yeah, a lot of hope and faith in her. And I would love to see her start cracking some skulls. She definitely looks like she's in her element. There's a video I'm about to show you where somebody calls Trump a chicken, pretty much, that he blinked on tariffs.
Oh, I did forget to say one thing before we got
started. Go ahead.
I can say it. It's what I told you last night when I got home.
Yeah.
So for everyone, it's been like a year, I think. Alan Donovan, who is the founder of Fathers Lives Matter. Everyone loved his interview. Just found out he has cancer. Just found out last night. He's got an aggressive form of neck cancer. They have no idea exactly what it is. They sent out a biopsy to the Mayo Clinic. So hopefully that should be back in a week, and he is getting a PET scan at the end of the week to see if it has spread. So ask prayer warriors to please keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and please help him out. And also it looks like Iva Lee something.
I know. I'm trying to find out what it is right now.
I just read it.
Good evening, Dummies. Day 13 in hospital, but getting better every day. Looking forward to good show. I believe what's going on?
Just not change subject, but just saw a doctor there putting in my chemo port and sending me home.
God, I'm so just fed up with cancer, man.
Too many.
Too many. It's just like every day, the big C. It's just like, it's insane. You know, I'm so glad it's not in our family. You know, we have the silent killer, you know, heart attacks,
my family.
heart attacks and strokes. You're not going to get it. Your boobs are too small. That's fine. What's the cancer going to eat? It's going to start and be like, man, I'm popping smoke. I'm getting out of here. Can I go to like is there a Chinese buffet that I can get involved with here? This looks like Kate Moss's diet of a glass of water and an almond. I'm out of here. Your boobs are perfect.
That's funny.
I would love you with or without your boobs. I can't tell a difference either way, so it's fine. Okay, here's a video from Donald Trump, and take a look at Judge Jeanine behind here, and he really handles this reporter well.
Oh, James Cody said, my snail mail came back. I messed up the address.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. We love you. We appreciate you. Here's the video. This is really good.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, and then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till Jeanine. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me. He said, you got the hottest we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down.
Judge Jeanine's facial expressions are so, she's trying not to crack up. She's just like, I can't believe I freaking love my job. I mean, she has got to be stoked.
You know, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question. Wait a minute. Wait. Go ahead, please.
President Zelensky says he's ready to sit down with.
He at least answered the question. He was responsive and then called her out on. It is kind of a nasty. People understand that there's a decorum to the presidency, right? That you don't have to respect the man, but you respect the office. Mm-hmm. Even Richard Nixon was treated with dignity by the press. Okay, even Joe Biden was treated with a bunch of lies and cover-ups by the press. But the worst presidents in history, Jimmy Carter, was treated with dignity and respect. So, saying that the president chickens out, I mean, if someone said that to me and I'm the president, I'd be like, well, that's okay. I heard they call you chicken legs, or something, just hit her right back or whatever. But he didn't do that. He answered a question. And then at the end, he's like, knock it off. Don't do that. This reminds me of like the big, beautiful bill. This is really frustrating me. There are a ton of lies about it right now. And have you heard about the bill and where it stands?
No, I haven't.
All right,
I've been out of the loop for a while.
That's fine. So I'm going to go through some of the goods and bads on the bill so people can understand, because there's a lot of talking points out there. The liberals are just, and this is what we try to do here. We try to kind of give you guys the liberal kung fu, so to speak. So I've created some notes to kind of help you understand what the left is saying and how to combat it. So line number 1, it kicks 8 million people off Medicare. First of all, that number was 14 million. Then they went ahead and reduced it to 8 million. Does anyone want to know why? Okay, great. So the reason why is the 6 million were illegals that were receiving money, and able-bodied young men who could work were receiving subsidies. So the Democrats immediately shift the 8 million number, because now they're like, okay, well, these people are the real ones who are going to get kicked off. But the facts are it's cutting fraudulent billing, not coverage. And that's very important. The coverage doesn't stop.
So the 8 million is fraudulent.
Yeah, massive amounts of fraud. GAO estimated that it was 47 billion in improper Medicare payments annually. So it cracks down on abuse, not grandma's insulin. And I happen to know someone, and someone who works for GAO, Scott, who worked with Burbiz. Mm-hmm. Right? I had a chance to talk to him. Yes, it allows people to no longer, or it stops people from stealing money. And you can understand why the Democrats are upset about this. They've lost USAID. Now Ukraine is drying up at the well. And now this, how are they going to launder their money? Geez. Line number 2, it takes food from the poor and the children. It takes poor. We would rather abort them rather than feed them. But if we have to feed them, how can you take their food away? USDA confirmed 94% of SNAP recipients already meet work requirements. The bill targets the 6% abusing the system, not needy families. And if they are needy, those people have the ability to work. So get out there and work, or are working and double dipping. Line number 3, it only helps the rich. It's a giant tax break for the rich. Top 1% get virtually no benefit from this bill at all. The average working class family saves $2,800 a year through combined tax relief and energy savings. There is no major tax break for 1%. They're considering the rich anyone in the top 24%, which would be considered the middle class. So now Democrats have lowered the standard even more, is that there was the upper elite, the well-off, the upper middle class, and then the middle class. So they're now complaining anyone who's making over $150,000 combined, or $75,000, is what they're considering to be rich.
Okay.
Yeah. Line number 4, it adds to the deficit. $4 trillion. Of course, they didn't care about Joe Biden's $9 trillion deficit. Sorry, I had to read something. The CBO scored the bill as a budget neutral by year 3 due to increased revenue and job growth and energy production, which Donald Trump, we saw that with GDP. We saw job growth, highest in 50 some odd years before COVID. So we know that we will continue to see higher job numbers, which we've seen, actual real numbers, not the fake ones that the Biden administration put out. And energy production continuing to drive down the cost of oil is ultimately going to have Europe and other countries start seeking money elsewhere, alternative energy sources than Russia. If you go ahead and cripple Russia by lowering energy prices and make it affordable for everyone, that doesn't help Russia. The bill is not perfect in any way. It helps workers, seniors, veterans, and small business owners, and liberals hate that because none of those people are their voters. So here's the breakdown on the bill, honey. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yes, I don't even know what the bill is. I thought that was the whole tax on tips.
Yeah,
but
it is.
apparently-
In fact, that's the first one. You're right on it. So tax relief for working Americans, $25,000 tip tax deduction. Servers, bartenders, and hospitality workers, hospitality, which means diamond, over at the Silky Cabaret, can deduct up to $25,000 in reported tips from taxable income. Now, it's really interesting is that you have to ask yourself the question, is it all cash on tips? Are all tips cash, even on a credit card? It's very important because the definition of tips includes cash and credit card. So I'm going to talk to my accountant because $25,000 is, although that only is a few months for us and donations, it's a lot of money. And I think it's important. So we're going to ask that question.
Yeah. When I was a server, what would happen is any tips we got on credit card, they printed out the list of who made what, and then they just gave us money out of the drawer and we took cash home.
Yeah.
So
Angela says, yeah, I got called an idiot more than once because I posted hallelujah on the post about the big, beautiful bill because the bill is horrible, according to Jeff Wilkin, who is a follower of the Dumb Show. The good news is I have no idea who Jeff Wilkin is. So he can't be that big of a follower because I don't know him. The overtime deduction. Overtime income is now eligible for tax deductions if it exceeds 65% of the gross income. And that's really not that difficult to do if you're an hourly worker who exceeds overtime every single month. If you are constantly putting in 15, 20 hours of overtime, that's your gross income. So it's obviously going to benefit people in healthcare, first responders, people who put in long hours, who are paid by the hour.
mm-hmm.
And here's the reason why is time and a half is a lot of money. So if you work 10 hours, that's basically equates to, 15, it's time, the 10 hours plus half. So it's 15 hours of work in a 10-hour overtime. So that accumulates. And that rate of pay, if you make $11 an hour, but then you get time and a half, you get another 11 and you get half of that. So you're making like $25, $26. It's not completely unrealistic in certain professions that your overtime deduction is going to make up 65% of your gross income. And if it doesn't, there are other tax breaks in this bill. They do expand on the child tax credit. Standardized deductions that were available in 2017. This does push forward Donald Trump's tax cuts from 2017. So whatever you did in 2019, 2020, 18, 21, and because Biden extended those tax cuts as well, all the way up until last year when those lapsed and went to the wayside, in this tax cycle, they're going to come back. You were happy then, weren't you? I was. Olivia was. Social Security income, no federal tax on Social Security income under $60,000 a year. Well, that's pretty much everybody, guys. I think I'm at like $57,000 a year, and I'm pretty much maxed on Social Security. If I never work another day for a corporation again and put a W-2 in, I will make max Social Security. That's great. I'm excited I don't have to pay tax on that crap.
Yeah.
Ends IRS overreach. IRS reporting threshold repealed. Reverses Biden's $600 bank transaction reporting rule. No more snooping on Venmo or smaller transfers, which is thank God for that. Keep up the transfers on Venmo and PayPal, please. Small businesses making under $500,000 a year are now exempt from random audits unless flagged for fraud. Good news. Welfare reform with accountability. Work requirements reinstated. Adults age 18 to 55 without dependents must work. Volunteer or train 20 hours a week to receive SNAP or Medicaid. Good. Projected savings, $11.3 billion a year, reducing fraud and encouraging workforce participation. Small business and energy boost. Tax cuts reduces small business tax rate from 21% to 17%, getting us back to that 17 level. Giving an average business an extra $14,000 a year in retained income. High five, Liv. American Energy Protection unlocks new federal leases for oil and gas, expected to create 230,000 jobs and lower energy costs. This will add $4 trillion to the debt. That is, if we don't see any type of surplus. If we don't see a surplus, which we saw surpluses throughout Donald Trump's presidency up until COVID. I can't imagine we're not going to do it again. So those are just some of the things. Is it perfect? No. Am I completely excited and stoked? No, I'm not. But what I am sick of is people like Thomas Massey. I'm sick of Ron Paul. I am so sick of these clowns being, fiscally responsible, but didn't challenge Joe Biden and passed his pork barrel politics. And I'm just getting a little sick of these people. People are saying the amount added to the debt, it's $4 trillion. It's actually going to save us $1.6 trillion on the proposed debt. And that's over 10 years. Do we understand that if we go ahead and add $4 trillion to the debt over a 10-year period of time, but there is going to be $1.6 trillion in savings, he cut. The proposed budget was like 5.8, 5.7. And we're looking at $4 trillion. That's a savings. Now, is it perfect? No. Is it adding to the deficit? Yes. Do we have to slow that to a crawl? Yes. But I will take someone actually saving some money. But the other thing is that $4 trillion is spread out over 10 years and can be offset by growth. So he's making an investment into the future in order to offset the debt by growth. I'm not sure why people are complaining. I thought that bill passed as a standalone bill. If you have, they had a portion of it, which was the tax on tips, but it did pass from the House, and now the Senate is pushing back, and it looks like it's going to be DOA because there are like 8 people, the usual suspects that we know, Thomas Massey. I think Hawley is also creating a ruckus. I think Rand Paul is making a ruckus, and of course Gillibrand and all the other douche plows, rhinos. She was so mad she had smoke signals coming out of her ears, Elizabeth Warren. I worked 56 hours a week every week for 20 years until the company I worked for and let everyone go back in 2022. Now I get 6 hours of every other week with a new job, Darren says. I wish I could have to be closer to help with the studio. It's okay. I got it. I'm doing well. Livy will tell you. I'm okay. I'm hitting my stride now. Q, is there any pork in the bill? Always. Any bill that's not a single issue bill by definition is pork. Listen, you guys, if we thought that Trump was just going to enter office and just write legislation and it was just going to pass, these people don't want that. And either you trust Trump or you don't. And if you voted for him, then you should trust him until he gives you a reason not to. Fair? I mean, Liv, what do you think? Now you've had a chance to hear everything. And yes, there's pork in it. And yes, there's Democrat programs in there. And the NEA is still going to get funded. And we're still sending money to Ukraine and Israel. And we're still funding transgender research in some stupid school, I'm sure. I've read the bill. And it's like every other bill in Washington, except for the first time that in recent memory, they are promising an offset. That's pretty much common on every bill. Everyone says that. Well, with these cuts, we'll make more money. But they have reduced the spending, and the Doge cuts are actually in the bill. And a lot of people are sitting here saying it's not. Well, maybe you should ask the question, who are the people who don't want the Doge cuts? Maybe we should be talking to those people. Because I guarantee that those people more than likely are working for a PAC or a special interest group, or themselves are receiving kickbacks from that spend. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts, honey?
I mean, I don't know much about, all this, but I honestly think any tax break is a good thing. I think it stimulates the economy because it puts more money back in people's pockets. And allows, us to go do other things. And I think our money we know how to spend our money better than the government knows how to spend our money. Yeah, I
agree. Like, I think Social Security, just cut me a refund check. Cut me a refund check and let me invest that.
Exactly.
Then Elon has every right to be upset. I don't know. I don't follow Elon Musk. I don't. And I don't care. really, about Elon Musk, Bobby. You know what I would have done? I would have hired 15 of the best forensic auditors in the United States and brought them on my team, and that would have been Doge. I think Trump accepted this bill so Mike Johnson can pass it in the Senate. You got to get it passed. You got to get something passed. And with these rhino Republicans and these fiscally responsible Republicans, you're not going to get it passed. It's just not the way it works. Is the AC on, honey?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to be because it's so cold out there.
I'm running a temperature. Can you throw it on, please? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sitting here dying. Like, literally, I'm going to have to get off the show if it keeps up. Going to go into Stephen A. Smith, who may just have to run for president, according to him. Yeah, Bobby, I've heard the same thing. I'm not up on Elon Musk right now, honestly. I've heard he's pissed, but everything I hear from the media, I don't listen to any of it. I don't believe anything they say. So that's just me. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time. And we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
Bobby Richardson says, Matt, go take care of yourself. I am taking care of myself, and I can't. So we got to do the show. This is our income. This is what we got to do. Do you think it goes against the Constitution to cut funding to Harvard? Olivia, what do you think? Do you think?
No.
Why?
I mean, where in the world does it say that the government has to fund colleges?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
So, nope.
So no, I don't think it does. And I mean, if Harvard is doing stuff that isn't kosher, then no, they shouldn't get money.
Yeah, I completely agree. Angela Hill's not effective until 2029 from what I've read. I've read that also. But here's the point. Everybody just thinks that, like, I'm going to say this, don't get upset, but we sound an awful lot like liberals. Since when do we want the government to do everything for us? Since when are we looking for the government to give us tax shelter or incentives? I don't want anything from the government. I don't want their tax. I want them to leave me alone, and I'll leave them alone. I want them to feel completely unobtrusive in my life for the rest of their existence. I don't want their tax breaks. I just want them to stop overtaxing me and allow me to use the tax code to my advantage and use my accountant to get the lowest rate possible. So I don't want the government to do anything for me. I want them to stay out of my life, and that's what we should all want.
Yep, I'm with you.
Tom says only tax if you make over $32K of income, and Social Security is never taxed. That's correct. And now the threshold is going up to like $60K is what my understanding is. Not many people make that. I mean, a very small amount of people. Like I said, I think I maxed out my Social Security.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Angela. Thanks for another great show. You're welcome. I think I maxed out my Social Security at 48. It's like in August, I would stop paying Social Security on all my jobs. It's like because I paid in the max amount. So, and we must have done that for 15 years. So I agree. On Harvard, it's not constitutional amendment. There's nothing that says thou shall, nothing in the Bible, and there's nothing in the Constitution. Here is Stephen A. Smith, who ESPN and sports commentator, not my favorite person, but has been hitting Democrats fairly hard, and it's worth a listen. I showed you when he was hitting Republicans, so I'm going to show you hitting Democrats. Here it is. And we're at 176.57 tonight. Thank you, folks. We're We need a huge night. We need some help. Please. Thank you.
It makes Trump look right. Because that hatred for him that led people to compromise their own professional principles just to ensure that he didn't win the presidency? Well, if you were willing to do that, then all of a sudden, does it not buffer his arguments about lawfare being exercised against him? Does it not buffer his arguments about fake news, fake news, fake news? Does it not buffer the credibility that comes to his arguments that it was a witch hunt? Does it not in some way buffer the notion that somebody might have cheated him in 2020? I don't believe that last part. He lost that damn election. And I get that. I'm talking about him genuinely feeling cheated, as opposed to knowing he's lying because, oh my God, the numbers say so. Why should he give a damn? The rest of us, yes. Why should he give a damn about the numbers? You see what hatred can do? You see what an absence of objectivity can do? You see how the corrupt actions of a few, whether it's him and a potpourri of his lies over the years, or Democrats and the lies that they were spewing leading up to the election. You see how we all got screwed? Because now the American people are sitting here not knowing what to believe or who to believe anymore.
My God.
And then you wonder why I'm pissed.
Thank you for yelling at me.
Yeah,
I really
seriously, dude.
appreciate it.
God, should I just... Do you want to do your 20 lashes first or my 20 lashes? Everything he said is just emotional platitude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, there is this new element of people who talk out of both sides of their mouths. And Piers Morgan's one of them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I support Israel. 100% I support Israel. I think they should defend themselves and bomb whoever they can. However, what they're doing is also classified as a genocide. But it's war. And in war, things happen. And it's just like, dude, I'm so sick of it. Take a stand. Stephen Smith, either hate Democrats, hate Republicans, or hate neither. But you don't need to ride the fence all the time. And there's a difference between pointing out the idiosyncrasies or the hypocrisy of both parties versus arguing for both. It comes down to this. Republicans and Democrats are shit. The only reason I vote for Republicans is because they don't literally want to tell me what to do with my life. Now everyone says that. They want to go ahead and create Handmaid's Tale, and they want to stop you from getting an abortion and force religion down your throat. I have never had a Republican do any of those things. I have no desire to have government in my life. I worked for the government. I got enough then. So when Stephen A. Smith comes on and he just goes up there and blows his lunch in emotional drivel all over the place, he doesn't know what President Trump saw about the election. I guarantee President Trump knows more about the election than Stephen A. Smith ever could. And just because Stephen A. Smith says the election was fair, he doesn't know that. That's what the media said. He doesn't know. He hasn't seen the numbers. Because more and more each day you're starting to see things. And not enough to probably sway the election, but you're starting to see that illegals and international illegals came into our country and voted. And they're starting to see these things. They're starting to see voter irregularities. And we know that although illegals can't vote in the federal elections, they certainly can vote in local elections in California and other places. So this whole thing with him just talking about the election, and going back to J6, it's just like, focus on the Donald Trump today, because the Donald Trump of this presidency is not the same Donald Trump in 2016. They are not the same guy.
And 2020.
Yeah, I mean, this man's been shot at. And I've said this, you know my quote. What is it, Liv? Got shot at. Once you, oh my God.
Once you've been, I don't know.
What?
I don't know the
How
exact
can you
quote.
not? Once you've been shot at, life gets simple.
Oh, okay.
It gets simple. Like the things that would stress you out before you were shot at no longer stress you out. But once you get fired upon, life has a very simplistic way about itself at that point. And I think Donald Trump is a benefactor of that. A level of humility, a level of patience, a level of not running everything so close to his own vest and letting other people take some of the responsibility of his presidency. And I think that's what he has to do. Unlike Joe Biden, which literally signed over his entire presidency with auto pen, which we're going to talk about right now. Harris Faulkner. It is rumored that 6 people specifically were running the White House for Joe Biden.
Is one of them named Obama?
No.
Ooh.
One of them's named Jill.
Yeah, I figured that one. I knew that one.
Yeah, well, here's the video. Watch this.
For Joe Biden and several key staffers. They may all face subpoenas if they do not comply by tomorrow. So now there's a deadline to this. So there's a ramp up now by Republicans. In a social media post, President Trump wrote, "Whoever had control of the auto pen is looking to be a bigger and bigger scandal by the moment." Aisha Hasni reporting in Washington. Aisha.
Hey, good morning to you, Harris. So that's right. Oversight Committee Chairman Comer tells me that his committee is ready to drop those subpoenas within minutes if former President Biden's doctor and those 4 other staffers do not respond to his request for an interview by tomorrow's deadline. Comer is also telling me that he's willing to expand those summons to include former First Lady Jill Biden, their son, Hunter Biden, and former Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, if that is where the committee's investigation leads them.
Obviously, we're interested in the Jean-Pierre. We're interested in people like Ian Sams. We're also interested in Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. So, but first step is bring these lower level employees in. We believe these employees that most people have never heard of had a huge amount of influence in the use of the auto pen.
So several folks from Biden's Oval Office inner circle have stayed quiet amid the cover-up allegations, but they're still active out there. Ron Klain is now Airbnb's chief legal officer. Anita Dunn now works with the super PAC Future Forward. Mike Donnellan is a Harvard fellow, and Bob Bauer teaches at NYU Law. And we're told that don't rule these people out as well. They could also be interviewed. If the committee does find any wrongdoing in their investigation, Harris, and Chairman Comer says that he would send criminal referrals to AG Pam Bondi. So stay tuned. Harris.
We will. Aisha, thank you. Jason Chaffetz, now Fox News contributor, former Utah congressman, who also chaired the House Oversight Committee, which is leading this effort now. This feels like it's right on time. Keep the press on. Your take.
Yeah, Chairman Comer is doing this the right way. You got to bring in the underlying employees. You start getting them on the record under oath, telling us who, how, who authorized this, who was allowed to put in it, who was in the chain of custody of these documents. It is the most powerful thing you have, the signature of the President of the United States.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight something. The pardon for the Biden family is distinctly different. I have looked at all of these, and I am telling you that looks like Joe Biden personally signed the ones for his family, but so many of these others, literally thousands of pardons and other documents, appear to all be on an auto pen. So who authorized that? Comer's going to figure that out.
So that's so interesting because you would know about this device. I've been doing some research. Barack Obama reportedly used an auto pen to sign the Patriot Act extension while he was traveling in France. That was in 2011. And we know that it's been used by other presidents. But what you're saying is there's a way to tell the difference?
Yeah, you can look at the signatures itself, and you want to go through. And the staffers that were put up on the screen, those really are highlighted. The other thing that's different than, for instance, when I was chairman, is you have a president in Donald Trump who actually wants justice, and the one to actually enforce. If the subpoena, you're only as good as your subpoena as your ability to enforce it. The person who would be in charge of actually enforcing that subpoena would be the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, who is Jeanine Pirro. And if anybody thinks that she's going to be bashful in not prosecuting and enforcing these subpoenas, oh my goodness, they haven't met her yet.
No. But we know her well, and what we do know about the situation, too, it's so interesting. Look at the timing of her coming on board now. And this is now really heating up, and Republicans are leaning in. I know I've been wanting, from the journalist perspective, as we hear all these books dropping and everything else, how can you not want more information? And we as journalists can only do so much. Congress can do more, and the Justice Department.
It's interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, baby, go.
What can a subpoena from Congress do? I mean, what can they do to you?
Well, they have you testify in front of Congress. And if you refuse that, they can go ahead and refer you for Department of Justice to in violation of a court-ordered subpoena and put out a warrant for your arrest. Will they do it? See, this is the thing. All of this very well may be true. All of it. It's just like the Hunter Biden shit. This is just like the Burisma stuff. This is just like Russian collusion. This is all fanfare. Nothing's going to happen.
No.
It's just nothing's going to happen.
Nope.
And that's the problem that I have is great. So we get to worry about this. Thank you so much, Sandra Edwards 565. We're at 187.87. Looking for a huge night tonight on donations. We need to make up for some lost ground. So if you could help out, please do. But Karen actually had a good question. She said, what about John Kirby and Jake Sullivan? And 100%, you know, it goes so much deeper than that. I would look at Jen Psaki. I've heard now that possibly Elizabeth Warren was involved. I'm hearing that staffers could have been involved with selling pardons. And these things are ridiculous. Thank you,
Charity.
Yeah, good show today. Can't wait for the auto pen debate. Barf all over the Biden regime, including wifey. Well, here's the thing. I mean, auto pens aren't illegal to use. I told you the ramifications and the stipulations of an auto pen. There has to be consent by the signee. They have to be aware of what they're signing. And it cannot be used with nefarious purposes just because that person has the authority to use that signature. And anything they do goes into question. But AutoPen's been used for forever. So I don't have a problem with the AutoPen. What I have a problem with is who was using it, who authorized it. And don't tell me that Joe Biden in his state of mind went through 846 court cases and charges to waive these people. It's just ridiculous.
If they find out that with some of these pardons that he had no idea and he didn't sign it and he had no idea it was being signed by the auto pen, can they reverse it?
Well, that's going to take the Supreme Court. And the argument will be, folks, we're at 208. That's great. We're almost there for the 300. Would love to overdrive the hell out of this because I've got a lot of painting to do, and I'm going to be up for another 3 or 4 hours tonight. I got my sleep last night, so I don't get it tonight. You know, the Supreme Court would have to assume that the President of the United States signs every single document. It's ridiculous. There are thousands and thousands of things that he signs in any given period of time, from letters, from legislation to orders, to personal notes, to writs, to transfer orders, to assignments to embassies, to whatever. The president signs his name more than any other person on the planet, and no doubt in my mind. So occasionally you're going to have 8,000 pardons. Was it 8,000?
That's
Did
what
I say
somebody-
800?
That's what somebody said.
I am so sick. Like, I don't feel good at all. I'm so sorry. It very well could be 8. Yes, it was 8,000. It was a shit ton of pardons. I mean, that is just an unbelievable number.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, he did set aside gold. It's my understanding gold bullion and set aside almost $96 billion. It was the Department of Energy. I think it was USAID. It could have been DOE, though. That's crazy. You know what I mean? If it's 8,000, when you look it up, it's 8,000 pardons. It is higher than, it's right, because it was the most out of any. It's like you can take all the other pardons from every other president in history, and it's still going to be one of the highest. Clinton was high, Obama was high, and Republicans have been fairly low on their.
8,064.
There's no effing way that he read those. And the thing is nothing.
Considering he was on vacation for half his term.
Nothing will be done. Nothing will be done. That's the problem. I don't mean to be a doomsayer.
You're a realist. You're not a doomsayer. You're a realist.
What are they going to do? You know, they're going to arrest people? They don't care. I mean, the shit that they get away with, the millions upon millions of dollars that these people get through stock tips from the shady underdealings. And when they just decide that you're done, they mass exodus you from the building. They did this with George Santos. They did it with who's the guy from SNL who did the fake titty grab? Gosh darn it, I'm nice and people love me. Stuart Smalley guy.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I'm sick. Like my brain's just shot.
I can't remember his name.
Frank, no. Al Franken.
Yep.
The fact that I pulled that out, it's pretty amazing. Be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, Melanie, I'm with you. Sadly, the families of some of those pardons are devastated, of course. You know, and you got to look at so many other things. People are like, well, if he was incompetent and he wasn't able to hold office, well, that's what the 25th Amendment is for. If he was the president of the United States, you have to prove that he didn't have the faculties. They're not going to do anything. It's just not going to happen. They don't care. They have no desire to hold themselves accountable. Sanders says, good evening on this rainy Wednesday. It's been raining here for a week.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Matt, we need you. Take care of yourself. I'm taking care of myself. I'm just tired. Al Franken, Senator, guess what, Minnesota? Yeah, Al Franken. Santos didn't even get due process. Yes, he did. Santos is guilty as shit. Santos deserves. But my point is that they held him up until he was no longer viable and valuable. Same thing with Matt Gaetz. They threw him to the wolves. This is what they do. They've got dirt on everybody. It's literally I can't even remember his name. I'm not doing well. Hoover, FBI. It's just literally a cache of information on every single person in there, and they get dirt on you and they control you. That's what they do. Hi, Joel. Oh, Cat, knock it off. It wasn't Herbert Hoover. What the hell was his name?
Who?
Hoover. FBI.
Oh, John comes to mind, but I don't know.
Edgar, J. Edgar. Herbert was president. I'm done. Like my brain is just like, oh, it's like mush. Here is a video. Did she just swat you?
No, she touched my lip. She tried patting my lip. She's never done that. She always does my cheek, but she's never gone right for my face.
Yenny, what the hell are you doing? Hey, Yennefer. Psst. Yenny. Psst. What are you doing?
She stopped and looked at you.
Joseph says, explain Trantifa to me. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Jager, thank you. Here is a video. Just listen, this is really important. This is a video of up-and-coming podcasters who are trying to tell what conservatives truly care about. And this is the most, listen, people go, I had some guy come on Instagram today, and I think it's the FedEx driver. I really do. I think he knows the show. This FedEx driver who I told to go F himself. And I've been really nice lately. I've been a really good person. Thank you, Rob. I hope you have a blessed day too. Bobby says, please donate so we can send Matt to bed. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. So the FedEx driver is a jerk. Just a horrible.
Yeah, I heard.
He's been here many times. And I'm always like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. That's the reply I get. How's it going today? Okay. Hey, you can put that over here. You need some help? And he gives me a silent treatment every time. He doesn't talk. So maybe the guy's a deaf mute. But either way, I had some choice words for him yesterday. And I let him have it. And mother may have been half of the word that I called him. I'm not sure. I think that was it. And he came on my page and he goes on Instagram, where I've got like, I don't even know, maybe 900 followers, maybe. It's Instagram. I mean, and I don't put up a lot of fun pictures, right? And he goes, your page sucks. Nobody watches you. And I said, you're absolutely right. Instagram blows. Can you help out and give me a follow or something? He goes, you're a cuck. I know where you live. And I'm like, well, come see me. Come say hi. And, bring that anger with you, please.
It's so angry.
And the reason I make this point is that I don't understand how a show like the one I'm about to show you has followers. There's one where this guy he's black, and he's calling black girls gorillas and monkeys and all these other horrible names. And he's got like 30,000 people watching. And I'm like, what? How? It's very similar when you like make a post, you're like, this is going to be moving, and it's going to be a testament, and it's really, I'm going to be a witness to something. And you write this post and it gets 0 likes, but then somebody puts up like a guy's head that looks like an ass from behind, and you see it and it gets 30 million likes, and you're like, we are at the level of Idiocracy, the movie. Like Brondo, it's what plants crave. People are stupid. Like their attention spans are so short. And then guys like this have a show that has millions of followers, and I just sit here and go, I don't understand. Watch it and you tell me, what am I missing? Good luck listening to it.
The reason why Republican messaging resonates with men is because men want bad things, right? It's like men want to have sex and like own women, right? Like they want to dominate everybody. And Republicans say, you get to do that. And then Democrats can't say that. So we just lost men. It's over, right? Like, what are you talking about? Like a lot of times it will be men that are liberals who will like agree with that shit. I'm like, dude, what is going on? Like there's a lot of men that don't think that way, obviously. And it's just such a negative view to take on.
I don't understand what the hell he's talking about. What the hell is he talking about?
I have no idea. Is he even old enough to vote?
I don't even know if he's old enough to have sex legally.
Or drive a car. He needs to do something with the set.
Yeah.
His set is pretty...
You're such a set snob.
I am, but you can see the lights in the background.
Yeah, you waste of a life.
For the human race.
Well, I also think it's just so abundantly clear that the people who say these things don't actually spend time talking to young men. You know this because we know each other in real life, but I spend a lot of time on college campuses, and I spend a lot of time with
young men.
I love young men. I love frat guys, and in that,
to eat them or just consume their souls.
Horrible.
I realized like even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage.
No.
You'd be surprised at the number of them who support Black Lives Matter. And so I feel like people.
What is up with the camera? Go and
No,
zoom in.
no, Liv, focus on the content.
Number of them who
Trying.
support Black Lives Matter.
It's hard.
It's always pro-choice. And in that, I've realized, like, even the ones that identify as conservative are almost always pro-choice. They're almost always pro-gay marriage. You'd be surprised at the number of them who support Black Lives Matter. And so
I don't support Black Lives Matter. I am certainly not pro-choice because it's not a choice. It's pro-death or pro-life. And as far as gay marriage, I don't plan on having one, so I don't care. What the hell is she talking about? I
don't know.
What type of frat guys is she eating?
Taken in
Maybe they identify as Republicans.
so many different ways.
God, do you know how hard it is to sit here and look at Goal and just be like,
I feel like
I gotta go to bed.
people just kind of lump them into this box when the truth is, again, a lot of them are with us on the issues. They're just not.
I can't be nice. We're a talk show, and she's rating the plants. We're here for her. I got to play it back. It's not good TV. So no, I'm not going to be nice. It's like, Olivia, focus. Squirrel.
Part of our coalition because they feel like they're not welcome.
Listen, I don't understand how anyone can watch that show. And like, this isn't my best performance.
It's like Harry Sasson.
Oh yeah. Well, at least Harry Sasson is like, you envision pounding him into like mush, you know? And that's really, with these people, I'm just like, whatever he said, I have no idea what he's talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Nope.
You know what? And I don't care that she's a heavy girl. Who cares? What I care about is that I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm trying to listen to you, and I'm literally getting dumber. Yeah. Thank God you said that when I didn't have a bite of hot dog in. I would have definitely choked. Yeah, Olivia's gotten pretty good at that, so.
Well, you're on a roll for not feeling very well.
No, I don't feel well. I'm grumpy. I'm not grumpy to anybody. I'm just grumpy because it's like, yeah, I'm grumpy. OMB director confirms that the big beautiful bill has 1.6 trillion in actual savings. I just wanted to add this clip because I know we talked about the big beautiful bill.
The reason why Republican messaging
that's the reason.
Budget is a proposal.
Geez, dude, shut it. I'm going to share this with you because when people say, oh, well, it's got $4 trillion to the national debt. Here is the actual facts of this. This is the OMB director, okay? Not someone who is necessarily going to carry water for Trump. Here it is.
A budget is a proposal. We are in the business of actually passing law. It has $1.6 trillion in actual mandatory savers for the first time ever. And it is nearly double the last highest watermark in the 1990s of $800 billion of work requirements. We are in the business of passing the DOGE cuts and getting the discretionary cuts locked into law and doing that in the non-defense appropriations process. We are seeing record tariffs come in. Right now, we're up to $3 trillion over 10 years of tariffs that are coming in. And given where we are, we have one trade agreement done. They're negotiating many right now, but already we are seeing a massive uptick. So we will provide more additional information to be able to tell that story, but it can't come at the expense of the real work necessary to pass as soon as possible the big bill that you've been championing and now moves to the Senate. A budget is a proposal. We are in the business of actually passing.
So it's just like I told you. I mean, this is the biggest spending decrease that we've seen in a bill that I've ever remembered. So when people are, this is a tax break for the wealthy, and just
they all say that.
That's what they always say.
Democrats always say it's a tax break for the wealthy.
Right. That's right. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly what I just said. But
this is gonna
I appreciate you repeating it because it was good to have your support.
Yes.
What do you see in this picture?
I see a baby that is in utero in this picture.
Look closer.
Oh, a hand. Looks like a hand.
Doesn't it?
Yep.
So either that mother is very flexible or there's something we need to know. Let's listen to it.
You are looking at the actual hand of God. If anybody needed encouragement today, this is going to be it. So this story comes from Amanda Foster. She posted this absolutely incredible picture of her ultrasound to her social media account. And of course, it has been blowing up. She said, each time before ultrasounds, I've dropped to my knees right in the doctor's office to pray over Kyler. In my prayers for him, I've asked the Lord repeatedly to please keep his hand on my baby and whatever his plan may be to help me trust fully in it at ease. At an ultrasound yesterday, my youngest daughter, Bailey, was the first to notice it and asked me whose hand that was, then Kyle. But in one of his pictures, it had the appearance of a hand holding his head. This is such a beautiful reminder, y'all, that we are his children. We are precious to God. He loves us more than we could ever imagine. Psalm 139 says, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it well. This life gets heavy, but no matter what you are dealing with right now, no matter what you are carrying, God can handle it. God is bigger than whatever issue you are facing right now. He is our Father, and we are his children. So whatever you are worrying about today, whatever you are carrying, whatever you are struggling with, run to him with it. Lay it at his feet because he loves you and his arms are wide open.
Okay. Liv, we had a fairly religious show last night.
Did you? I didn't.
Talking
watch
about my dad and,
Yeah.
praying to God and all that stuff. What do you think of when you hear that?
I wouldn't think that, but if that woman who is pregnant thinks that, then that's great. If that gives her comfort and helps ease any anxiety she has over, if there's anything wrong with the pregnancy or anything, then that's great. And that if that helps her, then that's all that matters. So I don't know. You see a lot of weird things in ultrasounds though.
Yeah, when we saw Ethan's, I thought he had a penis the size of a banana.
Hayden flipped us off in one of
Hayden
hers.
flipped us off in one of hers and would smile every time we would take a picture.
Oh yeah. And amazingly, she was shy. She didn't want to get pictures. She'd always turn, and she didn't want to get her face photographed. Not now. Every time she walks past a mirror, she has to look at herself.
Listen, here's my thought. You send me videos all the time of airplane, and you keep falling for it. But there's these people who go into Arizona into the dried out airplanes that are there because it doesn't rain very often. It's arid, so therefore they don't rust as fast.
Yeah.
And they go in and they shoot videos for college stuff, and they do skits and shit, and they're horrible. Elon Musk just officially left Donald Trump's government position.
Really?
After things got a little turbulent.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, well, go sell your car. So here's my thing. If that's what you believe, great. Paul, $10.80. Thank you, Paul. It doesn't hurt anybody. Wish I could do more, brother. Come on, dummies. Lots of little ones will get us there. I agree. No, do I believe that it's the hand of God? No, I don't. Just like I don't believe in the toast. Someone saw Jesus in a toast. I think we sometimes are so desperate to have God in our lives and want it so very badly, or maybe we don't feel it or feel it as much as we used to at one point in our lives or whatever. And I'm not an expert, but I think people will kind of see things that aren't there in order to satisfy that want. Does this hurt anybody? No.
No.
If that's what you want to believe, listen, we were a single cord or single vessel baby, right?
It was a
But it doesn't need a long explanation, just yes or no.
I think it was
single vessel. Okay, great.
I don't remember what
Gonna be
it's
back in 1962. Just yes or no. I'm sorry. I'm very punchy.
Yes, I can tell.
I'm tired, honey. Fuck. How many hours has I, come on, cut me some slack. Just be short and brief tonight. Just please. I don't want the Encyclopedia Britannica version, even though that's who I am. I know this. So a single vessel, right?
Yeah.
And somewhat high risk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the probability of survival? Did they tell you?
There was it wasn't 0% chance of death. There was none of that. It was a possibility that she could have Down syndrome. She could have mental retardation.
Oh, well, she got that.
Yeah, that one did pass on. She could have had multiple sclerosis and a few others that could have been caused by this. And they gave us the option if we wanted to terminate. We were at 20 weeks at that point.
And we told them,
of course,
we told
absolutely
them
no.
No way. Go to hell.
We did a bunch of testing because they said a lot of it has to do with genetics. And so they did a really big blood test on me. And we had to deep dive into both families as far as our genetics and anything like that. And neither side of the families has anything like that. So she turned out fine, but
kind of. That's fine is relative. So, folks, Elon Musk was leaving anyway. So this is just the media doing what the media does. They're going to drum up some big controversy and says that he said he can disagree with the bill. Who cares? He's got to have his own opinions, and so he left. And this is the media taking that and going, oh, well, he left in anger and blah, blah, whatever. Shut up. Of course they're going to say that. Of course you're going to say it. JD Stillwell, cutting the boys' hair tonight, so I missed some, but always appreciate the show. We always appreciate that you appreciate it. I don't care if somebody
You are looking at
does something for clicks, but I would be a little less matter of fact. When you say you're looking at the hand of God, I think you better understand that there are people who are actually going to believe that that's the hand of God. And I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, being matter of fact, definitely. If you want, state your opinion.
Well, what you could say is, this is a very touching photo that, could be inspiring to people of faith, But my story of building the doors and my dad and praying and feeling that's just as to some people. So who am I to sit here and say that's why I'm like, maybe it is the hand of God. How do we know? We don't know. So if it brings you solace, like Olivia said, I think Olivia surmised this the best. If it brings you that feeling of faith and hope, then good for you. Just like, throwing a penny into the well, where some people break the wishbone, or jump back 3 times to get pregnant, or spit in their hand before having sex with a prostitute because it's supposed to stop all STDs. These are things
I've never heard that one.
It didn't work. She got pregnant, and I itch like a son of a gun.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
I think it's harmless. Yep. And then Joanne says, could be inspiring to some Looney Tunes. Yeah, that's a great point. Some people are like, that's the hand of God. I think that was, who said that? Maybe it was Darla. And who cares? If that's what you want to believe. Some people believe the Dallas Stars are going to come back from 3-1.
That's not going to happen.
Go Edmonton. I'm a Canadian fan right now, but then Florida. Anyway, I just thought I'd show it to you because I thought it was interesting. I want you to listen to this. This is a claim from a whistleblower, and this is just kind of breaking, that Joe Biden was bailing out people and giving loan forgiveness for people who were anything but white. It's a very interesting video. Folks, we're at 229.77. Oh, we needed a huge night tonight. It's not going to happen, but we got to hit goal. And we have to do it in 23 minutes. I have to be off at 9. I have to go paint. Here, real quick.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at webkin.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
So this is a whistleblower, and this is going to happen. The more these books come out, and there's just a plethora of books on Joe Biden coming out, Liv. And this is the slow drip thing. And if Joe Biden was running for re-election, this would be brutal for him, but he's not. And I'm having a hard time wondering why we're spending so much time focused on Joe Biden and not the other things that really matter. Listen, Joe Biden, I don't think he's going to be around long enough to see trial, but
according to someone, he's incapable of standing trial.
Yeah.
He's incompetent.
Yeah,
he can't do it.
Murr said that. So, yep, during his investigation. Here is the video of this whistleblower, and this is from News Nation. Not always the most credible source, a little biased, but let's listen to it. It's interesting. My God. Could that be any louder? This has to be when they're going on the helo. Yes, it is, when he was going home.
When former President Joe Biden left Washington, D.C., he was leaving behind a DEI secret involving American farmers and $800 million in taxpayer money. And a United States Department of Agriculture whistleblower is now sounding the alarm.
It was to pay off anyone who wasn't a white male's loan. That was the only qualification for this loan forgiveness.
And what was the reaction?
So it was really silent. They were trying to keep this hushed because of the obvious implications of race-based loan forgiveness.
Race-based loan forgiveness. It's in black and white, buried in the American Rescue Plan Act. United States Secretary of Agriculture shall provide a payment in an amount up to 120% of the outstanding indebtedness of each socially disadvantaged farmer or rancher. The act explicitly lays out who's considered socially disadvantaged.
So just to be clear, if you were American Indian, Alaskan Native, Asian Black, African American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, or Latino,
everything but white,
group, you were told you didn't have to pay your bills, essentially?
Yes, that's correct. And that your loan would be forgiven up to 120% of the loan value.
To me, it was combating racism with more racism. I couldn't believe that it was happening in today's age.
James Dunlap owns a small family farm in Baker City, Oregon. He works 2 other jobs to keep his farm afloat, but did not qualify for the loan forgiveness because he's white.
I knew what they were saying was that minority farmers were going to have their loans forgiven for no reason other than they decided to, they being the government. So.
And how much money they had nothing to do with it.
As far as I understand, not at all. It wasn't about hardship. It wasn't about financial situations at all. It was purely what box you checked under that ethnicity line on your application.
If you checked a non-white box, you got the free money, no matter how rich you were. James and other white farmers sued the Biden administration and were successful. The loan forgiveness for any farmer who's not white was stopped. The judge writing in his decision, it was an actual constitutional harm that cannot be undone. And James and other white farmers will suffer the harm of being excluded from eligibility for that debt relief program solely on the basis of his race. That harm he has shown is irreparable. But this is where things get interesting. The Biden administration was not ready to give up. They passed the Inflation Reduction Act to help farmers who couldn't pay their loans. It was supposed to help all farmers, but News Nation has learned all farmers were not told about it. News Nation obtaining a copy of this email that was sent out to share information about new payments and/or loan modifications that may assist you. But here's the catch. Our whistleblower says it was only sent to the minority farmers, aka the socially disadvantaged group. And he says USDA workers were even instructed to tell that group to stop paying their loans because they would still be forgiven. The whistleblower says none of the white farmers he works with received the email.
They got nothing. You know, it might not meet the legal definition of fraud, but it isn't right. It was discriminatory, it was unethical, and the people who pushed it are still in charge of the agency.
They're still in charge?
Yes. At our national office, they're still, Trump hasn't got rid of them.
We reached out to the United States Department of Agriculture. They did not respond to our specific questions or our questions about what the whistleblower said, that some of these DEI policies still remain in effect and in some of the documentation. But they did send us this statement, Elizabeth. I want to read to you in part. It says, it is absurd that while the Biden administration was driving up inflation, American taxpayers were forced to fund billions in woke DEI initiatives. No one should be shocked that Biden weaponized bipartisan farm programs to discriminate and provide taxpayer dollars to one group based on race and not on merit. On day one, Secretary Rollins issued a memo to rescind all DEI programs. Instead, USDA is reprioritizing unity, equality, meritocracy, and colorblind policies. And the USDA says they are also reviewing the Inflation Reduction Act funding to ensure that that money is now going out to all farmers equally instead of just one specific group.
All
Elizabeth?
right, Brian Enton, thank you
Yeah,
so
thanks,
much.
Brian. What a downer.
Coming up for...
Okay,
Do you like
I'm
my new? Do you like my new nose ring?
It's awesome.
Well, I'm sick and tired of the. It's just like literally like running. So I'm gonna use a boxing technique here.
Joanne Lutman, thank you for the $10. I hit it and it went with the transition of the video.
Shit,
so
I'm sorry, honey.
It disappeared.
Thank you,
hit it wrong.
Joanne. We appreciate it very much.
So I'm confused. For some reason, I was thinking student loan forgiveness.
No,
is what this
farmers.
was. Okay, I didn't realize that there was.
See, honey, farmers are people who go ahead and plant things
Yes,
or invest in cattle or livestock or agriculture. They also farm. They do artificial insemination for certain caged animals and things to that effect.
I know what
they
a farmer is,
that.
dear.
Are you sure?
Yes, I didn't know there was a loan program for it.
Luann gave 2110. I always enjoy your show. I always enjoy when you donate, and I enjoy that you enjoy the show.
Who asked about their donation?
Christine Clark.
I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna have to log in.
That's a sexy look, Matt. I know. It's my bull ring. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna have to log in because I don't have it.
Lots of laughs, Matt. Sudafed. I think I got strep. Pretty sure I got strep.
Thank you, Mel.
Mel, might be a bit, have to go help mom. Oh, help mom, but don't stay away too long. Stay. Matt, I do that with my, seriously. Olivia does it. It's a sexy.
I do it at night.
But see, she doesn't do the ring. She does it at night, and it comes right here, and I come in and give her a big kiss, and I literally get her snot rag in my mouth.
Oh, the joys of marriage.
Yeah.
Oh, I need the code.
Oh, certainly.
Yes.
Let me help thy.
By the way, I'm supposed to ask you a question.
Here you go. Ow.
Top or bottom?
Oh, it just depends on what time of the night it is and what mood I'm in. I mean, sometimes I like you on top, sometimes bottom, sometimes I like you sideways, sometimes like from behind. I mean,
It's gonna
sometimes I
change,
like
we're
you.
gonna have to do this.
I like you diagonal. I mean,
Which one?
Well, I don't know. I can't just pick one. The bottom one.
And it changed since you did your whole diatribe. So let's see if it even works.
The fact that you use diatribe in a sentence gives me hope for you. Did you get it, sweetie?
It's thinking. Yes, it worked. I'm supposed to ask you. Ask Matt if he thinks it's time to suspend habeas. That's what the question was.
Lincoln did. And I think, no, it's not time. And I understand you have the judges, and I understand you have the political lawfare. I get all these things. I understand. But the moment that you suspend habeas corpus for one, you can suspend it for all. Where do we draw the line? It's like taking guns. Where do we draw the line? It's limiting speech. Where do we draw the line? I'm not for that. I am for writing new laws that limit the influence of circuit and federal court judges. That would be nice. I am all for stopping the politicization of judges. I'm all for making Supreme Court justices no longer nominations by the current president. I think Supreme Court judges should be assigned based on tenure and should be voted on by the state government. And if and they should have to be reelected every 4 to 6 years. And all nominations to the Supreme Court should be state sponsored. Kristen Clark.
Thank you, Christine. Yeah, we got it a while ago. It didn't pop up on the emails. So I just got to remember, I have to go in and just check them out. So again, if you donated and you don't see it pop up within a few minutes, I'm trying to keep them in as soon as they come in. Let me know so I can check.
I put the Authenticator app on your phone, by the way. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, but it's on my computer that I'm checking them. I don't get.
You just pick up your phone and you open up the Authenticator app, and you're going to get the codes too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's right there for you, so you don't have to ask anymore.
Okay.
And then I can help you. So, suspending habeas corpus is like the Patriot Act. I mean, essentially that dissolved the right to privacy. How does that feel for everybody? And in the time, it might seem like a good idea, but once again, when you sacrifice freedom and liberty for safety, you deserve neither, to paraphrase Benjamin Franklin, right? Go to bed, Bobby says, 3140. I can't. I have to be on till at least 9. I can't go to bed. If you would like to throw a $500 donation to me, I'll go to bed. Otherwise, I got to stay on and hope against hope. That's the way this works. I got to make the rent. I got to pay the bills.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. In bed all day watching the show. Thanks for keeping me company. We love it. So I don't believe we should suspend habeas corpus. I think it's tyrannical. I think it's completely antithetical to our republic. I think it's what socialists and communist countries do, and we should have no part in it. And the day that he does impose martial law or suspends habeas corpus is the day that I stop supporting Donald Trump. And I don't think he's going to. I really don't. And I know some people may not like to hear that, but I'm not playing around. Here's a funny video.
We need a good, uplifting, funny video.
Yeah, just right. This lady's laying out in the sun, and this crane operator is having a little bit of fun. This is so good. Watch this.
You can keep moving the tower. Ain't gonna work, love.
That's so funny. So frustrating if you're that woman. Oh my gosh.
That's like, I would receive a phone call from you like 5 minutes there. Oh my God, Matt, I keep moving and the sun keeps, like a cloud keeps following me and I don't know what to do. Would you do that?
No, I wouldn't. I'd be smart enough to look up and figure out something. Hi, Bubba.
Yeah, but when you look up into the sun, it's kind of hard to see. You know what I mean?
That is a good point.
So, Macron.
Oh, there was a follow-up question of that habeas.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, in your opinion, what does Trump do?
Well, for what? I mean,
The following up of the habeas corpus, I guess.
well, I think what they're saying is how does he get people prosecuted?
I was asking him what Trump does in Matt's opinion. What does Trump do in your opinion?
What Trump does is continue to deport people within the confines of the law. And he has to follow the letter of the law. And if he doesn't like the letter of the law, then they need to change the law. That's what needs to happen. You need to start having the Senate and the House get their shit together because we only have a year and a half left. And if they don't start, thank you, Kev. Hope you feel better soon. Appreciate you. If you want to change the way government works, executive orders aren't going to do it. You have to codify them into law. Immigration reform still needs to take place. This is what Republicans have been saying. Change the law. Fix it. Tom Homan said that. If you don't like the rules of what I'm doing, then change the law. We have to fix what's broken. And immigration reform is necessary, just like criminal justice reform is necessary. So what should Trump do? Trump should lean on his approval rating, which right now 50% of the country thinks we're going in the right direction, which is the highest number I think I've ever seen it. His political capital is strong. They may not love everything he's doing. They don't like the tariffs. They don't like immigration right now. And there's some things that they don't like, the high prices on food. Hi, Ash. But so be it. You're not going to be loved by everybody. But he's got a lot of headwind or tailwind right now. And he needs to take advantage of it. It's time for Trump to focus on immigration reform and set the rules. Remain in Mexico. Get it codified. If you want to beef up the border, do so. If you want to change the way that asylum happens in our country, do that.
No.
But in the end, all he really has to do is replicate what Biden did, Obama did, and Clinton did, who deported more people than every other single president from a conservative standpoint combined. Donald Trump hasn't deported a lot of people because border crossings are down. Local police departments are picking up illegals who are committing crime. And of course, the progressive DAs are turning around and letting them go. But usually that forces those people to go to another city. And that's what's happening. It's forcing people out of New York. It's forcing people out of Texas and moving into smaller locations, which gives them the opportunity, because they don't have sanctuary cities there, to arrest these people. Crime will take care of itself with a normal population of officers, but you've got to get rid of these progressive DAs. You've got to start using maximum sentencing. You need max min sentencing when it comes to illegals crossing the border, and you need to make it a felony. It needs to stop being a misdemeanor. Second time's a felony. You need to make a first offense. You cross the border, jump the border, it's a felony on offense 1. And make a min-max sentence for it. And don't ever, no matter who it is, I don't care if it's a Chinese national or it's Kim Jong-dip, whoever it is, if you cross illegally into our country, there is a min-max sentencing, and it is absolutely 100% ironclad. Send a message. If you come to the United States, you can live here in jail. That's what Trump does. You've got the majority in the House, you got the majority in the Senate, and you need to propose legislation that satisfies the rhinos, the neocons, and the supposedly fiscal responsive conservatives, which is just completely bullshit. Because there are none of those, even though they pretend they do. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What is she chewing?
Mouse.
Oh, she's killing the mouse?
Yeah. She takes Yanni's toys.
Yes, she does.
This will probably be a quick answer because I know that you've already talked about this. You probably already discussed this, but I've been away. When Dan and Cash said that Epstein killed himself based on their body language, do you believe they were telling the truth?
Florida's going to be in trouble because Carolina has been swept 4 times, and Carolina is not a slouch. Florida has a problem putting opponents away. And they struggled with this against Tampa Bay, not this year, but previous run. Florida needs to put Carolina to bed tonight. If not, you're going to let them right back into the series. That series will be what, 3-2? Yeah, 3-2. Maybe 3-3. They were up 3-1. Yeah, so they won 1. It'll be 3-2 if you lose tonight. And then you're back in their barn and you're playing to 3-3. Game 6, you're going to Game 7. Anything can happen in Game 7. Florida needs to stop and put them down now. Don't let Carolina creep back into the series. They have, I don't know that when I'm down 3-1, I'm supposed to lose syndrome. 3-0. And here's the thing, all Florida fans who are flipping out. There's only one team that's ever come back from a 3-0 deficit, and I don't think it's happened in a semifinal. So I think you're fine. All right, let's move on.
Did you hear my question?
Yes, I'm just processing it.
Okay.
What was the question?
Based on their body language, do you think Dan and Cash were telling the truth when they said Epstein killed himself?
I think Dan and Cash didn't know what they were talking about when they had podcasts and were doing the book circuit. And the moment that they got in and got into a skiff and were able to sit down with the files, got to read all the evidence, and like most people realize, I don't know shit about shit that I don't know about. That's what I think. And I think most assuredly that Epstein, there's an evidence there that he killed himself, and they get to see all the things that point to that. Folks, intelligence is not the state of knowing something. Intelligence is the state of knowing what you do not know and knowing how to go and find it. That's intelligence. The ability to recite and retain information doesn't necessarily, isn't the demarcation line into, omnipotent thought. It is the ability to know you don't know something and how to go and find that information. That's intelligence. And the fact that Cash and Dan are both now exposed to this information, I think Donald Trump told them, go out there on camera and say this because we want to put it to bed because we're not going to release this information because it's going to do harm to Israel and other countries like MI6, Mossad, and PMI and other intelligence agencies that they used Epstein for blackmail and extortion to gain human intelligence. And they don't want that out there right now. That's my guess. What works during a campaign doesn't always work when you get the elected office. I think Bongino and Patel are realizing that what they promised they can't deliver on, and they're doing a little damage control. That's what I believe. Once again, once you see the files, once you see the information, if there's no there, and sometimes you see things and you're like, holy shit, if we release this, the mountain of other things that have to be released or that will just kinetically fall as well could be damaging to our country. That's what I think. Nuggets should have beat OKC. I don't know what the hell the Nuggets were thinking in that game 7. Last tonight, The View, always good.
Always a fun one.
Always a fun. This had to do with Memorial Day. I love the idiocy of these women. Liv, if we have any more donations, now's the time.
I don't see any. I'll check PayPal though.
Okay. I just closed out email. Here is the video. Folks, I'm having fun tonight. I don't want you to think I'm not having a good time. I'm having a fun time. I'm under the weather. So I'm having a ball.
As of right now, they're all there.
Don't let the yawning fool you. All right, here it is.
It's nice to see.
But it sounds like he's doing a set at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah. It was about time we heard him give the Gold Star families their due. It was about time he did that because he spoke and said, we are proud of our Gold Star families. This is the first time, at least maybe, unless you've heard him do it.
No, he's hosted them at the White House in his first term.
Right, but the last time we collectively heard him talking about Gold Star families, it was not positive.
No,
Who could hear all that in the midst of all of that stuff?
I mean, I heard that because it was something that I needed to have him say.
I needed to hear it for it to be true. And if I didn't...
Always supported Gold Star families.
Yeah, go.
He has one he has a Gold Star family at every single State of the Union he does. In his first term, and he's very open about supporting Gold Star families. I don't know what they're talking about, that he's never openly said it.
Well, that's the point. And this is the point of these women, that they just don't know shit. So what did Macron really get slapped? Is it real or AI? It looks real to me. That's everything I've heard. Now, there's plenty of AI out there, but it's my understanding that the slap video is real. I just don't care because I'm not Nightline or Access Hollywood. I just don't care. If listen, my wife slapped me before. I deserved it, and I punched her right in the mouth. I don't care. And Macron's a human being, and if his wife wants to slap him, well, he has a choice. He can either slap her back, tolerate it, get abused, or leave, whatever. So I think it's real. Why has there been no info on the CIA?
Oh, it's me yawning.
I'm a little tired. 5 a.m. came really early
I
this
know.
morning.
Well, I was saying normally I'm the one who's yawning on the shore. Normally you've got a lot of energy.
I have energy. Look at me. I'm bouncing off the walls. So excited to be here. CIA, why has there been no info on the CIA gate bridge? Well, you remember that I told you about the CIA probes, the FBI, the Annapolis probes, the drones, the Armenians that were here who opened up this front business and went after the Special Forces PSYOPs colonel. Remember, I covered all that, Mel. I'm not going to cover this one for a bit. That's all I'll say. But if you think I'm not watching it, you're crazy. But I'm not gonna cover it for a bit out of respect. That's all I'll say. But if I don't hear something within the next 3 or 4 days, you might be hearing from me. But you probably will hear something Monday before you'll hear something Friday or Thursday. Just FYI. Matt, how long could you tolerate living in Seattle? Asking for an Antifa supporter. Well, Seattle's beautiful. I love the weather. I love rain. Like, it's been raining in Virginia all week, and I just absolutely love it. Gosh, you look radiant tonight. And I could I live in Seattle? No, I could not. I am not. I love Washington. It's a place. Olivia and I wanted to move to Oregon and Washington at one point. We're thinking of it seriously. But I can't handle the left coast anymore. I just can't. And I'm not interested in it. But I would love Colorado to stop being so stupid. I didn't cover it tonight, but I'll probably cover it tomorrow. Is, pushing the trans push and everything else. I mean, Colorado literally is no longer what it used to be. And, people are asking what's going on in Oregon, what's going on in Washington, what's going on in Colorado. Well, those three states are three of the largest reclamation projects for hippies. And these are people who were anti-war and anti-Vietnam, and, hated the baby killers, the Jane Fonda mentalities. And these people have now, they have metamorphosized, very similar to phase 1 and 2 of feminism, into the third and fourth wave, and are now activists and progressives. And they started off with progressive leanings in Vietnam, and then really moved to the socialist movement once Russia kicked off in the Cold War, and now have moved into Nietzsche and Maoist principles and Che Guevara and Stalin and Lenin, and have really become activists and believe that the next big conflict in the United States is going to be neo-Nazis, and that they are the, anti-fascists, when truly they're the ones wearing masks, and they're the ones with armbands, and they're the ones beating up people and fighting police and fighting cops and fighting the government and authority. Amin says you both look tired. I don't think Olivia looks tired. I look tired. I'm sick as shit. That's why.
I am tired, but
you
it's
do
a
look
long
tired.
weekend.
Yeah, we're tired. We're listen, folks. Olivia's got a full-time job. I've got a full-time job, which is the show. I'm up at the butt crack of dawn working all day on the site, and then I got to come in here and do a show. And plus, I've got strep / 24-hour AIDS. I don't know what it is.
24 hours.
So the chrysalis, and now the butterfly, which is actually turned into a giant, tar-covered toxic moth, which is Oregon and Washington and Colorado, are completely just been taken over by radicals. And this is what happens when you constantly have to have a cause to fight for where you have no real investment. And whatever the media says is you carry a blank picket sign with a marker in your back, just waiting to make your sign to say what you're protesting today. What am I offended by today? And that's what's happened. And people have lost all faith and all trust in the system and believe that the system needs to be destroyed. And these people ultimately want that. And that's what they're doing in Colorado by pushing trans athletes and pushing transgender surgeries, and that it's actually a crime now to misgender your own child in the state of Colorado.
Oh, jeez.
Misgender your own child, it's a crime. So there's they're leaving Colorado and they're going to expand into Idaho. And this is what people, they're running from liberal policies so they can go ahead and re-implement liberal policies.
That's
when they
what I don't understand. You're fleeing from a state because it's gone to crap and high taxes and everything else and expensive and blah, blah, blah. So you're leaving it, but then you're voting the same way that you did back then and turning your new home into what you left from. What's the point?
Liberals, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the leftists of America.
It's just so stupid.
These are the people who still want to try communism and socialism, believing that it can work, even though it's failed miserably. And every single time it's been tried, there's never been a successful socialist and communist country. People are like, oh, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. No, they're not communists, you dumbass. And even their leaders say it's not communist. They have social programs, but their main source of revenue and drive for their economy is capitalism and free market, which is antithetical to government-controlled goods and services. So I'm just, this is where T.S. Dixon and I would sit here and just have this conversation and just explain to people how stupid they are.
Did they not realize that it's their policies that they voted on that are causing that. It's how do they not realize that and make that connection?
Because they don't. They truly believe that it is their job to, as Christianity and manifest destiny is kind of the Christians' ethics and credo, which is to bring the word of God to everybody. Theirs is to bring progressive socialism to the world because it is the only fair and truly balanced and equitable form of government in their eyes. So even though it failed in Colorado, they'll never blame that it's the policies. They'll blame it on certain leaders that were feckless or certain corporations that got in and didn't allow Starbucks to unionize. They'll blame it on anything other than themselves. And this is what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Just talking to Paul. He's talking about the Flathead Valley, so I just replying.
Okay.
Always
Matt, next project I want to see is your book, truly a bestseller. Oh. Idaho is going to be tough. My cousins are up there, and they're not going to tolerate that shit. I'm with you, Mel. Yeah. Gay North Dakota is probably the next to fall.
Colorado's trying to limit people to 4 pets?
Yeah.
How can you limit how many pets a person has?
They find those people, and again, they incentivize their neighbors to narc them off.
Jeez. God, we're so stupid.
Yep. This is par for the course, folks. It's 21:10. It's 9:10. I want to say thank you. I didn't even look at goal 375.86. You know what? It's a better night than we've been having. It's $75 more, and I want to thank everybody for helping out. It means a lot. Remember, if you watch the show, it's first time watching, it's free. The show's always free. If everyone gave $10 a month, this show would crush. I mean, we would crush. We'd make $3,000 in the first couple nights. If you guys can help, we always appreciate it. You can always help after, like maybe it's like, you know what, I can't afford it right now for the show, but next week I will. We don't need to be on. thedumbshow.com/donate's always on. Hey, I'll get some rest, Joel. Thanks, buddy. And if you can help out, please do. Also, go pick up a shirt or some coffee. We got some of the best coffee, veteran made from Wisconsin. It is super rated. Everybody gives us 5 stars. Take a look at our hoodies, our hats, all of our stuff. It's great stuff, guys. It's not cheap. Everything we do is done well. We're going to be on tomorrow.
Yep. Working on some new interviews as well.
Yep. Going to continue to have people come on the show. It's what we want to do. We want to make that happen. We're going to try to look up that girl who was with Damani, who was so strong.
If you remember what her name was, please email me.
Wasn't it Libby?
Libby something. But if you could
just look up Libby podcaster, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the same person. We'll find it. I found it once. I'll find it again.
Yeah.
But we want to find her. We're going to be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. It's going to be Leroy and I. Olivia's going to have off. She's going to take a nice long shower and get some rest and paint. Liv, you got anything to say to everybody?
Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for all the donations. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait to see you. We'll have a great show for you tomorrow night. And then soon we'll get this darn studio done so we can start doing our daily videos again and news. And what's great is the desk that I'm building is really designed to be a lot more comfortable and organized, and I can do more from it. So we can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. See you tomorrow. Make sure to hit the like button. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output. This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct,
Hi, everybody.
unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Look at the puppy.